Okay, I think we're recording now. Wonderful. All right. So you will see a picture, maybe similar to this. I think the one on the test is actually a picture. It has a triangle. So like this piece is a triangle, but it has those parallel lines and then the angles that go through it. So the picture looks a little different on the test, but it's the same idea. You need to create two equations and then use those equations to solve using systems of equations. You can use elimination, you can use substitution, whichever you prefer. But we have three angles. And then the test asks for you, like once you find X and Y, to plug those numbers back in and then solve for the individual angle, all right? So we'll do that today. So you'll have an example of it. You can use this, you can use your notes on the test. You can use these examples. It obviously won't be the same numbers, but it's the same process. All right, so I need to find two equations using the angle pair relationships. And the way I'm gonna do that is this one right here and this one. Look, they're both acute angles. And they're also corresponding angles because this is in the bottom right-hand corner of this group of angles. And then the 4y plus 26 is in the bottom right-hand corner of this. So since we have corresponding angles, they're both acute. We know that they are congruent to each other. So I will write that down right here. X plus 2y is going to be equal to 4y plus 26. So that, 26, let's write the correct numbers. That would be helpful. So that's the first equation. And then my second equation, I'm going to look at these two. For one, I would like to use this one again because it has the smallest numbers and the prettiest numbers. So I'm going to take these and figure out the relationship between those. So we have an acute angle and we have an obtuse angle. And if we add them together, they would equal 180 because these are same side interior. So x plus 2y is going to add to 2x minus 34. So this angle plus this angle, and it's going to equal 180. Cool. All right, we can make these angles or these equations a little bit prettier. So how I'm going to do that is I'm going to rewrite them right here. And all I can really do is subtract 2y on both sides to make this one nicer. So x, and then minus 2y on this side, minus 2y on this side. So the 2y disappears from the left-hand side, and this becomes 4y minus 2y is 2y plus 26. So this is the same equation. I just, simplified a little bit. And then for this equation, I can combine like terms to make it 3x plus 2y minus 34 equals 180. And then I'm going to bring it over here under this equation because I want to go ahead and add 34 on both sides. So when I do that, plus 34 and plus 34, I'm going to end up with a much easier equation. Becomes, what is that, like 214, I believe. Okay, so lots of steps here for you to understand. You use these equations, or you use these angles to form two separate equations. And then I have made these equations look a lot prettier just by combining like terms and adding or subtracting from both sides. I personally want to use substitution on this. You can use elimination. If you use elimination, actually, I'll show you how to solve it both ways. So we'll do substitution through here. So substitution. And then I will also show you elimination. And then you can kind of pick how you want to do it. So substitution, I'm going to take this and I'm going to plug it in for x. So instead of writing x in this equation, I'm going to write this 2y plus 26. So 3 times 2y plus 26 plus 2y equals 214. So I substituted, instead of writing x, I wrote 2y plus 26. So that's 6y plus 78 plus 2y equals 214. And now all I have to do, I'm just simply solving for y here. 8y plus 78. Yeah, that's right. Equals 214. Subtract 78 on both sides. 8y equals, oh goodness, what is that going to be? I think I already solved this. I don't have to do it in my head. 136. And then when I divide by 8 on both sides, I get 17. All right, cool. I have 17. Oh, it's hard to see now. Hopefully I can tell that that's 17. I'm starting to lose space here, but it's okay. And then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to plug in this. So x equals 2. So I'm just taking this equation up here and I'm plugging 17 in, and then I'm going to add 26 to it. All right, well, this is not enough space to write this. I'm going to act like this is supposed to look like that. 17, 2 times, guys, I'm struggling. I'll figure it out before I write it all. Hopefully I'll write in pencil, unlike me. 2, we have solved for our y, not our x. We're trying to figure out our x. Oh my gosh, this is fine. I wish y'all were here and then y'all could actually laugh at me to my face instead of on Zoom. I don't mind that. Okay, I've plugged it in correctly now after like 17 tries. X equals 2 times 17 plus 26. If you're like, where in the world did this come from? We've already solved for y. And so I just wrote this same equation right here and plugged 17 in. So that's what I did after much trial and error. All right, 2 times 17 is 34. And then if you add 26 to that, you get 60. Ooh, that was a struggle. It's not even, I even messed up on the easy part. Like that part's not even hard. All you're doing is plugging in. Goodness. Let's look at elimination. So what I'm going to do for elimination is I'm going to make sure all of these pieces match up. So this equal sign needs to be the same in the same spot as that. So I need to subtract 2y on both sides. And once I do that, x minus 2y equals 26. Now the equal sign will match up. So 3x plus 2y equals 214. All right, so if you see now, we've got a negative 2y and a positive 2y. So it's a really pretty equation. All we have to do is add both of them and get 4x. These cross out, and this becomes 240. And then when we divide by 4, x will be 60. That's nice. So if we know that x is 60, we can look back up here in this equation and plug x in. 60 equals 2y plus 26. And we would subtract 26 on both sides. And we would get 2y equals 34. Divide by 2, y equals 17. So it kind of just depends on which way you want to solve it. I'll put this to where it's all in the same screen. Obviously, yours will not take that much work. I solved it 2 different ways. So like yours would either just be this over here or this over here. It wouldn't be all of that. But this shows you both ways in You know, whichever way you're more comfortable with, you can use. Cool. Let us move on. Oh, wait, let's not move on because on the test, you're going to have to plug these back in. So we would have to say we have x is 60. So we have 60 plus 2 times 17. This one I can already tell is not going to be drawn to scale. So 60 plus 34 is going to be 94 degrees. All right. And then 4 times 17 plus 26 is going to be, hopefully it's 94. 17 times 4 plus 26. Oh my goodness. It is 94. So hopefully that makes sense to you guys. Like these have to be the same or it won't, like it doesn't work. And then this 2 times 60 plus 34. 2 times 60 plus 34 equals, oh, it's minus, I was about to say, oh my gosh, this doesn't work. It's minus 34. That will work. Minus 34. So 2 times 60, you get 120, you subtract 34, and you get 86. Fabulous. Now these are supplementary. These are congruent. That works. Is this drawn to scale? No, because these are supposed to be cute and that's obtuse, but that's okay. But yeah, so that's how these work. Are these difficult? Yes, this is an advanced problem. This is harder than, you know, just the normal identify ones. There's only one of these on the test. Hopefully that makes you feel better. Ooh, that one took a long time. These will not take us long. We may only play the game kit for 10 minutes. I'm okay with that. All right. This type of problem right here, maybe I'll work the other one because that has too much going on around it. So this one right here, we have, this is what we're looking for. And there's one like this on the 3.3 assignment, maybe 3.4. I think it's 3.3. So just make sure that if you don't know how to do this one, this is how. You're always going to start on the triangle that doesn't have the question mark. And then you're going to have to work your way over to that question mark. So all three of these are going to add up to 180. What you can do is you can, add 75 and 55. And then you'll get 130, I believe. Is that right? 130. All right. If it's not, you'll tell me. So you get 130 for this. And these two add up to 130. If you subtract these from 180, then you would get 50. So this was going to be 50 degrees. And if you're like, oh, I want to check my answer, add these three together, they should equal 180. Then I think this is the step that throws everybody off. They get to here and then they're like, I don't know how to solve for this. But remember, this right here is a straight line, okay? So, that idea of linear pair and supplementary angles, or two angles that add up to 180, they're on a straight line. Well, this is just three angles. So they're not, linear pairs because a pair is only two. But these three angles are supplementary. They add together to equal 180. So if we add 50 and 90 and get 140 and subtract that from 180, we can realize that this is 40 degrees right there. You can also solve it like this: 50 plus 90 plus x equals 180. And then when you solve for x, you would get 40. Both of those would work. Okay, and then right here, we've got 40, we've got 40. We need to figure out how much this is. And all you have to do is add those together, subtract from 180, and you can solve this. It's 100 degrees. Okay, so you'll have a similar one on the test that you'll have to work that looks like this. So just make sure you know how to do that. And then this one right here, you have, zoom this in so you can see that. All right, make sure that you put a right angle right here. It was very, very faint on the picture. So if you didn't, go ahead and put that there. All right, same idea as before. You're going to start in the triangle that does not have the question mark. So question mark's here, so we're gonna start in the other triangle. You gotta figure out what this angle is. And so all of these angles will add up to 180. When we add these together, you get 132. And subtract from 180, you get 48. All right, cool. We know this is 48, but that does not give us this, right? We have to continue to work through these. It's almost like a little puzzle that you've got to figure out. If these two angles add up to 90, they're complementary angles. If we just subtract 48 from 90, then we can solve for this one. So I think that's going to be, is it 42? All right. Don't want to mess that up and then mess up the whole problem. All right, and now we have these two angles. And this one is the one we're looking for, but we have the other two in the triangle. So x plus 42 plus 82. You can always just add these together and subtract them from 180. That's what I'm about to do. But I am showing you the math way to do it. X plus 124 equals 180. And then subtract 124 on both sides. And then this is going to equal 56. But yeah, there's also a problem like that on your homework. I wanted to work one that looks like that. Okay, now you can put your writing utensil down, and we're going to just kind of do some problems together real quick, and you'll be able to type them into the chat. Ooh, I had two people asking the same question, and I didn't see the chat because I moved it, but it just happened. So where did the 42 come from? Where did that problem go? Okay, let me write it down. So for the 42, you know, you have 48 and you know that this is 90 degrees. So you take 90 and you subtract 48 and you get 42. So that is where that 42 comes from, because you know the whole thing is 90 and you subtract this 48 from it and then you get 42. Thank y'all for asking that question. I had another question earlier. For elimination, do you always add the two equations? It depends on what is in your, like, if one is positive and one is negative, yeah, you would add them. If they're both negative, you would have to subtract one of the equations and change all the signs all the way across. I would just suggest, if you're not comfortable with elimination, do substitution. Okay. All right, we're gonna not write this down. Do not feel like you have to write this down. I want you to type. Y'all can, and you guys in here, you don't have, obviously don't have to type it. But I want us to start, we'll talk about it in here. I want us to start, I want you to type, what is the transversal for angle 1 and 7? So your answer choices is either A, B, N, or M. What is it gonna be? Go ahead and type it in the chat what you think it is. What do you guys think it is? Yeah, so how do you know that? Perfect, yeah. So if you were looking at this, awesome. We've got a lot of correct answers in here in the chat. So we have 1 and 7. A is the one that touches both of those angles. If you look, N only touches 1. M only touches 7. B, it doesn't, you can't see it anywhere. It doesn't touch any of the angles. So what I'm gonna do is remember the easiest way. And so like when there's a picture similar to this on the test, you would take your hand and you would cover this up. So we are looking for the angle relationship for 1 and 7. So it's a lot easier to see now, right? So write what that angle relationship for 1 and 7 is. What type of angle pair is it? And keep them coming. I've got 1 answer. Send it to me privately. Perfect. That is correct. 2, 3 answers. All right. What do y'all think it is? Perfect. Yeah. So there's going to be questions like this on the test. If you look at that, it's pretty overwhelming. If you cover it up, it's way easier. Yay, all correct answers. We got some smarty pants in this class. That's good. All right, 6 and 16. I want you to look for 6 and 16, and I want you to tell me what the transversal is for 6 and 16. Awesome, we got some correct answers. So it's M, because M goes through the other 2 lines. So you would just put M there. So the transversal is M. The angle relationship. Now tell me what the angle relationship is for 6 and 16. Ooh, y'all are fast typers. Look at that. What do you guys think it is? Alternate interior. Good. This is easy. This should be easy. This test, we should dominate. I'm hoping. Okay, 3 and 11. The transversal right here is in. Yes, some of you already answered it. What is the angle pair? This is the one that kind of messes people up sometimes. So if you can cover it up on the screen for you guys. If you have a hard time looking at it, make sure you're only looking at 3 and 11. Yes, I have 2 correct answers that have messaged me privately. Yes, you're correct. This one is typically the one that's a little more difficult. So I'm having some mixed answers, getting some correct, some not. What do you guys think of this? One is, yeah, it's corresponding. Good. So these are corresponding angles. Make sure that you are looking at it like this for 3 and 11. That way, this is the interior, this is the exterior. So 3 is on the interior, 11 is on the exterior, but they're both in the same position, this bottom portion of their group of angles. All right, corresponding. All right, last one, 11 and 14. We'll just look at this one real quick, we're running out of time. 11 and 14 are on the interior. B is their transversal, and they're on the same side. So they're gonna be same side interior angles for 11 and 14. Yeah, just know that you'll have a few questions on the test that are similar to this. And you'll just have to do those. Should be easy for you guys. All right, I'm going to stop recording.